welcome to the video, guys. I hope you're having a great day. We started a series, and in the previous videos I told you what is machine learning. Alright, so now we're going to discuss the popular algorithm that's linear regression. Alright, and we're going to show you the model being trained on Python as well. Now basically we're going to use linear regression for single variable, but first we want to know why do we use linear regression. Alright, now these models basically predict the relationship between two variables. Alright, and it gives us a line, and that line shows us that what is the relationship between these two variables. So I'm going to go ahead and basically show you our data set that we're going to use, that we basically want to predict the population of a country. So let's go ahead and check out the data set as well. Alright, now that we're on the data set by the name of population, alright, these are some years that is in one column and the population is in one column. Now this, I just want you guys to understand that year is going to be X, alright, population is going to be Y. Right now we know the linear regression equation as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you, and we're going to use these two variables, year and population, and compute it towards that formula and just fit it in properly. Alright, let's go ahead and check that out. Alright guys, so this is the formula of linear regression, that's y equals to mx plus b. Now I'm using our two variables as population and year, and I've just fit it into this formula as well. Now population is going to be our dependent variable and year is going to be an independent variable. Alright, now m is the coefficient, which is a slope, and b is going to be the intercept. It's basically the expected mean value and it stays constant. Now I'm going to take you over to the Python code that's been written to train this model as well, and we're going to see the prediction of the year 2021 as well for this particular country's data set that I have. Alright, so let's go ahead and check that out. Alright, now that we're on this code, I have basically done this coding over Spider. The IDE, you can use Jupyter Notebook or Spider, whichever one you're comfortable with. Alright, so I've commented out most of the code basically because I'm going to print it out and show it to you as well. Now, this I have in the beginning we import the libraries. I have imported pandas as PD. Pandas is basically a Python data analysis library, and it's used to basically extract the data from our CSV files, and it's going to basically store it into a data frame. I've imported numpys as NP. Basically numpy is also a library and it supports large multi-dimensional arrays, and it has a lot of high-level mathematical functions that are suitable for operating these arrays. Now as we're going to basically show you the graph as well, so I'm going to use matplotlib, and I basically made the dataset over here, that's pd.read_csv. Now this is the CSV file's name, alright, it's population.csv. Let me go ahead and show that to you as well. Alright, now here's the name, that's population, and this is basically a CSV file. So let's go back to our code. Now I'm going to basically print and show you the data shape, the dataset shape, alright, as we created this data frame, and it's that 6 rows and 2 columns, and that is absolutely correct. That's 6 rows and 2 columns that we have. Alright, let's go to the code now. Now I'm going to basically show you the graph on matplotlib. Alright, let me just remove the comments for 1 second. Alright, now I used a data set and I plot it, and the X is going to be my year, Y is going to be my population, and I use a style of O. Now I kept the title as population, I kept the X label as year, the Y label as population, and I've now in this plot, this is a very important thing, there's dataset.year, dataset.population. I've used the color red, and I've used markers plus, which you'll see what's the difference, and I've used plt.show. Basically now this graph is going to show the linear relationship between the year and population, and here it is, it shows a line as well as where population has increased and which points has increased. Alright, now there's another way as well, you can actually do check graph, that's through Seaborn as well. I prefer Seaborn because it gives a proper graph overview. So I'm commenting out the code above, and we're going to basically see the graph with Seaborn. So I'm going to import Seaborn library as SNS, and here's a regression plot. That's why I prefer using it as well. That's sns.regplot. X is my year, Y is my population, and data equals to data set. Alright, so I'm going to run this and show you what's the difference as well. Now as you can see here, it's giving the line, the variables, and it's showing us the distance between them as well, right? And basically showing us the relationship between them, all right? Here's the years, and here's the population showing these float numbers as well. Now let's go ahead of this code. Now I'm basically preparing the data, right? I took two variables. I've taken x and I've taken y, all right, as we mentioned above. Now I basically prefer this because this is an accurate way of reading the values. So it's data set, that's my data frame out here, right? Dot index location, all right, colon, comma, colon, -1 dot values. Now basically what this does is that exclude everything except exclude the last column, all right? The last column is my population, that's -1. So it's excluding this and it's only reading the year, all right? The values in the year. So that's out here, and it's the year I mentioned the attribute as well. Now similarly I did for y. I got dataset.I location colon comma 1 dot values. So this is basically taking the population values only, all right? That is these values. It's taking this location, right, from 0 1, all right? Like this column will be 0, this column is 1, so it's only collecting those values of population. Now I basically split the data, and I have used from sklearn.model selection import train underscore split underscore test underscore split, sorry. Now I've had xtrain, xtest, ytrain, ytest, and I use the train test split function. I have my x values in, my y values in, and now the test size basically that I'm putting in is 20%. A rule of thumb is 80 to 20, but this value can be changed if you want to, like, optimize your R-square score. That's to check the accuracy and evaluate this model as well. So I need to go ahead and check that down ahead as well. Now random state is basically splitting the data randomly. Alright, now I'm basically training this algorithm, this linear regression algorithm. So from sklearn dot linear underscore model import linear regression. Guys, this library sklearn scikit-learn, it's a really good powerful library that contains a lot of models and algorithms in it. So we'll be using this ahead in the future as well. Now I created a variable by the name of regressor, and I've added the linear regression. Now regressor.fit. Now this is where the model trains as well, alright? Now I got x train and I got y train in this, and I've trained the model as well. Now as I've put comments in this as well, so you guys can read it as well, that a certain linear regression basically finds the best value for the intercept and coefficient, alright, which results in a line that best fits the data, alright, like we seen the line earlier. That is going to be this line, right? The best line that comes in, that's through the intercept and coefficient that we mentioned earlier. Now this is the syntax to print regressor.intercept underscore and regressor.cof underscore, alright? So I'm going to print these values and I'm going to check it out, and here the values are coming. Alright, now I'm going to basically make the predictions. This is where the prediction part comes in. Now I made a variable y underscore pred, and I've added regressor dot predict x test, alright? Basically the test input values, those are going to be predicted. Now I'm going to compare the actual values with the predicted values, alright? For x test with the predicted values for y test. Now here I've made the data frame, and I've added this data frame, and we're going to print the data frame as well. This is the syntax, please follow the syntax along. So here it's showing the actual value and the predicted value. That's the actual is 207774520. Let's go back and see it. Here's the value 207774520. Alright, so there's not really much difference. It did give a predicted value as well. Now we want to evaluate this algorithm. Alright, for that basically from sklearn you're going to import metrics. Then you're going to import from sklearn metrics you're going to import R-square score. As I mentioned, R-square score is for linear regression. You basically see how you evaluate as to see if it's actually a good model. Alright. Now guys, the R-square score should be from 0 to 1. Alright. When the score lies between this, we know okay the model is actually good. So let's say if the score I'm gonna basically show it and tell you the difference. So this score is coming as 0.8. It's really good, alright, because it's close from 0 to 1. Now let's say if this score was minus 0.8, so then we would go ahead And what would we do is that out here, the test size, we would basically make it 30. We would keep on checking until we get to the R square score closer. Alright, but try not to go more than 60-40. That's 40 for your test size and 60 for your training. Try not to go beyond that. Alright, now I'm going to basically print the predicted value for the year 2022. Alright, so I've gone ahead and this is the predicted value for 2022. So guys, this is basically the entire Python linear regression model that I've trained for single variable only. Alright, so in the next video we're going to go ahead with multiple variable, and I'm going to basically show you as how that would be done as well. If you have any comments, any questions, please feel free to contact me through the comment section. I'll be more than happy to respond back to you. Thank you so much for your time.